Well, I hope you're ready to celebrate today. Lee, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, stay tuned. This is the Unexpected Podcast. All right, well, guess what, Lee?
What's that?
I'm going to tell you something that you actually already know.
What's that?
But maybe our viewers don't realize it. This is our 50th episode. Woo, woo.
Oh, yeah. 50 times of doing this.
Yeah.
That's good.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
Seems like we just started, and yet here we are.
Yeah, 50, time flies when you're having fun.
50 episodes in. So I'm going to call this our golden episode.
Ah, the golden episode.
Yeah, you know, the 50th wedding anniversary is considered the golden anniversary.
Okay.
We haven't quite made it to that yet.
We did 25, though. That's silver, right?
That's silver.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, I was wondering, like, what do they call it after? You know, the first anniversary is the paper anniversary and so on up until you get to silver. Well, from there, it's just increments of 5 and 10 going on. So,
really?
Yeah, there's nothing for our upcoming 26th anniversary. I guess we can make something up.
The filing cabinet
Ooh,
anniversary.
Yeah,
that's where you
we clean out the filing cabinet.
Oh, clean out the filing cabinet and start over.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Clean out all the taxes from the last 25 years.
Yeah, we don't have that many. I've already cleaned them out.
Oh, that's good.
But there's still plenty of cleaning out to do, which I've been trying to do a lot of lately. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Well, all right. So I thought we would just talk about the significance of the number 50 because it has significance in culture and it also has significance in the Bible. And I think there's some application to our lives. Now, while we're recording this, it happens to be January 20th, 2025.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be airing on Wednesday, but we're recording today on Monday, a very cold Monday. We started out at 12 degrees this morning. Of course, we know it's Martin Luther King Day, so we honor that. And it's also the day of the inauguration.
Yeah.
So it's been a big, big eventful day.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happening.
A lot going on.
Nation, and the world, and people's lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very eventful.
You know, it's interesting because I did listen to the speech today, and President Trump's first line was, "This is the beginning of the golden age of America," which is funny because we're talking about golden today. It's just coincidental.
So it's just, they were mentioning our podcast.
I know, yeah.
The Golden Cop podcast. This is the Golden podcast.
Yeah, that's what it was. So
that's great.
There you go.
See, yeah. It's all about us.
Yeah. No, it's really about you guys, and we appreciate you tuning in to listen.
Yeah.
But getting back to the number 50, I mean, obviously 50 is significant. It's a half of a century, so 50 years is a big deal. Just like 100 years is a big deal, but 50 episodes is a big deal. But even, you know, in the Bible, it has a lot to say about 50, or there's a lot of symbolism centered around 50.
Is it Jubilee?
It is. It is Jubilee. So in ancient Israel, every 50 years was marked as Jubilee. And that means there was forgiveness of debts. Slaves were set free.
Yeah.
So if people had come into some kind of servitude, you know, it may have been like slavery in that sense was not in the sense of, you know, what we have known historically as our American slavery, but it could have been due to debts and like this kind of indenturing type of thing. Slaves were set free. Land that had to be sold was returned back to the original owner. So,
oh wow,
50 is a big deal. It's restoration, and to me, it's symbolic of renewal and a new start. I mean, think about it. If someone came along,
man, that's great.
Absolutely. If someone came along and said all your debts are canceled as of today,
yeah,
fresh start.
That'd be great.
Who wouldn't love that? Okay.
No more mortgage, no more
Yeah.
credit card debt.
Yeah. Yeah.
No more guitar centers debt. No more.
And no more guitars.
Whoa, no, whoa. We'll stop there.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting, too, that 50 is also associated with the word Pentecost. So we know in the New Testament of the Bible that it was on the Feast of Pentecost, which it's called Pentecost because it's the Feast of Weeks, which takes place 50 days after Passover.
Right.
And so that is when the Lord chose to pour out his Spirit after Jesus' resurrection. He told the believers to go into the upper room. And so that's where we get the term Pentecostal.
Yeah.
It has to do with 50, but only in the sense that that was the day that God chose to pour out the Holy Spirit on the new believers of the early church.
Yeah, the early church.
Yeah, so there's a lot associated
120.
with... Yeah, 120 that stuck around.
Started out at 500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because 500 witnessed Jesus
After he
ascend.
Yeah.
Right, and saw him after the resurrection.
Yeah.
Yeah, but only 120 stuck around. So, okay, there's a lot to unpack there. But really, I think today is a good day to emphasize second chances and new beginnings.
Second chances. You know, that's a big deal because we've all gotten second chances one time or another in our life. And sometimes we need to look at who we need to give second chances to. That's a hard one for me. You know?
Yeah.
You burn me. I try to not have a grudge, but man, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, used to, it was like, I want to, my old thing, I want to throat punch somebody, but that's, that we don't do that because that's bad. That's a bad thing to do.
Right.
Giving people a second chance and sometimes a third and a fourth and a fifth. Sixth. I mean, Jesus said, how many times, or they asked Jesus, said, how many times should I forgive? And he's 7 times? They said, no, 70 times 7.
Right.
So 490. And then I'm done.
Or more if needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, I mean, that's a big number, but that 70 times 7, that's, I think,
the point is
that was a metaphorical.
Symbolic for,
just keep forgiving.
That's right.
And,
that's right.
Whoever forgives much loves much,
Right. And of course, we've
who's been forgiven much loves much.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. The words of Christ.
So when you're forgiving somebody, you're creating love in their life.
That's so true. And I mean, when I received revelation that I was a sinner in need of forgiveness, and that Jesus was the only way, and that I was then compelled to repent and turn from my way of living and receive that forgiveness. I mean, it did something completely transformative in me. I just passionately loved Jesus and wanted to worship him 24/7 because of the experience of having been forgiven of much. And it does change you.
I think that, growing up in the backwoods of Kentucky, we had a saying, I'll forgive them, but I won't forget.
Wait, you're from Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
You one of them Kentucky boys?
You're a Kentucky girl, so, here we go. But why can't we forget? The carnal side of us wants to remember everything so we don't get hurt again. I get that. It's a defense thing. I get it. But we have to forgive and forget and move on, because if we don't forget, then we're bringing on a burden to ourselves.
Well, right. And I think it comes down to there are different types of forgetting, in the sense that this is where you bring wisdom in. Because if somebody is truly operating in a manipulative or evil nature, yes, you can forgive them, but you also
don't have to be around them.
Exactly. You don't just let your guard down and let them walk all over you again.
No.
But you do, as you're saying, forget in the sense that you're not going to carry around the grudge anymore.
No, because if I've got a problem with you, it's still my problem. And, and if you got a problem with me, it's still your problem, and that's, that's a bad thing. Come, let us reason together. Let us talk it out. If I need to apologize, I will, and if you need to apologize, it's probably a good thing that you do. Don't hold grudges, man. That's make you old and bitter.
Right.
And I fight that one, because the older I get, I find it harder to get rid of grudges. The older I get. and I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
culture thing or if
Yeah.
that's like what. Anyway, leave a
Yeah.
comment if you
Yeah,
have
that's
an answer for me.
That's an interesting question. Would you guys say it's easier the older you get to forgive or more difficult? I've discussed this before on this podcast. I think as I've gotten older, it's easier for me to take criticism. But I see where you're coming from on it's also can be easier to settle into bitterness, I think sometimes because you're just tired,
tired.
And we're coming out of a lull of several years of just difficulty in life, difficulty in this nation.
Yeah.
And yeah, you get worn down and
You just become, I don't want to become that old guy that goes, get off my lawn. I don't want you on my lawn.
Yes.
I don't want to buy what you're selling.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, them kids need to be quiet.
Yeah, be quiet. Don't make noise.
Yeah, don't have fun.
Don't have fun. Be a miserable old bat like me.
We don't want to be that way.
No.
But sometimes, you do just want your peace and quiet, but...
watching kids and seeing the younger generation have fun makes me want to be young again.
Yeah.
But it also brings back a little bit of my youth.
Yeah.
I'd like to join in,
Yeah.
Can't right now, but
yes,
I'd like to.
You're well.
When I'm well.
Yeah, I want to go I want to go. The other day, someone was talking on Facebook about going roller skating. I was like, that would be fun.
That would be fun. I would love to do that.
When you get well, we're going to just go out and do some fun, silly things.
Absolutely.
Because we're never too old.
I miss hiking.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And kickball.
Dodgeball.
I have had this idea. I don't know if it would ever go over, but I think it'd be just so cool to have like a club where it's just adults playing kickball, dodgeball,
Yes.
like get leagues going.
It's like a gym for elderly.
Yeah.
Elderly gym.
Right. Exactly.
We'll call it Elders Gym.
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, it would be awesome. But back to 50.
Yeah.
When you turn 50, they say life don't start till you're 50. But
I know you haven't gotten to find that out yet.
I haven't got to find that out yet. I'm only 40. What? I'll be 47. I think.
I can't keep up.
I think I'll be 47.
That's right, because
20 more years to retirement. Hey.
Yeah, I'm well into my 50s, and you're just a babe.
Oh man. Yeah.
So
you just told on yourself.
I know.
I married an older woman.
Yeah. Well, and that's interesting because that you bring that up about birthdays and so forth. For me, it was harder to deal with getting older when I was still in my 40s. I think it's hard when you're in 40s.
Yeah. I'm noticing that.
Yeah. And you're there and you're kind of like, oh, it's kind of
midlife crisis. I need to buy a Corvette and dye my hair blonde and drive around with a tank top on.
Please no. But I do think it's more difficult. For me, it was. What about you guys? Some of you are young out there. Some of you are older. Once I settled into my 50s, I don't know. It's a little bit different. Just kind of accept it a little bit better.
Well, I've heard it for years. Life don't start till you're 50 because you're it's the second half of your life because. I think that what is it the age to live to is like 93 or something like that.
Well, I don't think that's an average. The average is lower than that.
Is it lower? I don't know.
But you and I, who knows?
I think I'll live to 93.
Really? You're making plans?
Making plans. 93, but you'll be.
You said you want to meet.
You're gonna be almost 100, so you'll make it about 120 more than likely, knowing your genetics. And you'll have like 2 Jubilee years.
I don't know. We'll see. My last checkup, that's what,
I wonder what you'll say on the podcast then when you're 100.
Welcome, y'all. Who wants to come over and play kickball with me?
Heck yeah.
Well, so we're talking about 50 and talking about second chances. And you alluded earlier to like the people that we need to give a second chance to.
Absolutely.
But I think there are a lot of people probably listening who need to give themselves a second chance.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Man, I'm with you on that one. I get down on myself, especially you talking about the 40s. The 40s are a little bit, it's like this, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? kind of thought process. But, you know, do I need to wear a new hat? Do I need to wear new clothes? Do I need to start, acting different?
Well, yeah, it's kind of an identity thing.
Identity.
Who am I?
Who am I? What am I going to do for the next 50 years of my life, But all that aside, we have to be able to forgive ourselves for things we did in our youth that were stupid. I still cringe.
You did stupid things?
Oh my gosh. Sometimes I think back and I just cringe. I cringe because I said something absolutely dumb or I did something absolutely dumb and I embarrassed myself in front of somebody. I used the wrong word. I said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So I cringe now and I'm going, why did I say that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. And I know that you all have done it too, so don't even think that you getting off that easy. But we've all said those things, but you got to forgive yourself. We've got to turn over that cringe and say, you know what? I was young. I messed up. I forgive myself. If you need to go ask somebody for forgiveness, it's probably a good thing. It's a good bucket list. You did somebody wrong, go ask them for forgiveness. And if they don't forgive you, then that's off you.
Yeah.
That falls on them then.
You've done your part.
Done your part. And sometimes it opens up a can of worms that just can't be put back. There are certain hurts and things that have been said in life that you can't take back. But you can apologize for it and hope for the best, I guess. Have I said anything to offend you?
Ever?
Ever? I'm sure I have.
Never.
Whatever.
I'm sure. It goes both ways, right?
Well, we've said some dumb things as a married couple. And
yeah, and I think, again, going back to these recent years, it's just been a different level of, at times, spiritual warfare and just a different, and then other life difficulties that we've faced. And, so speaking of things that we say, I mean, it's, sometimes I just want to get real carnal and just say whatever I think and whatever I feel. And
get snappy.
Gets a little snappy at times.
Snappy.
And just kind of get it off my chest. Sometimes I just have to get things off my chest, though.
Yeah.
And I've really noticed.
And that's where prayer comes in. Talk to God.
It really does. You pray and you talk to God and get honest with God.
And honest with yourself.
Yes. Because guess what? You can't hide from Him, and you can't hide your real heart. You can't hide your real intentions. And you just think of, God as a good Father. And you can go to a good Father and just say, look, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling, right or wrong. This is where I am right now. It's best to be honest, because open communication creates the pathway for healing and the pathway for answers to come.
Yeah, we got a comment. Was it the last one or the one before last? It's like, be more explanatory. Explanatory with some solutions. Offer some solutions to these things of forgiveness. How can we tackle forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, taking on the burden of saying, you know what, if I think I was wrong, and even if you weren't wrong,
right,
it might spur on an apology.
Well, it starts with the parable that Jesus told about the person who was owed a debt by someone, but that same person owed an even larger debt. And when that large debt was forgiven, that person who was forgiven of that large debt should have had enough mercy to turn to the person who owed him and extend mercy and forgiveness.
But he didn't.
But he didn't.
Threw him in jail.
Right. And so...
And what happened? The original debtor, the guy...
Yes, the original... Yes, that granted the forgiveness.
Granted the forgiveness, threw the other man in jail.
Right. And so Jesus tells that story because that's a picture of whatever has been done to you, and it doesn't negate the hurt that's been done to anyone. However, whatever has been done to us is small compared to what we have done to Christ and the pain that he suffered to pay the price for our sins.
Yeah, and
so it starts there by that understanding.
Understanding that, and also you don't have to hold on to that guilt of being hurt, so when you get hurt, no, and this is there are some hurtful situations out there, and people have been, ungodly things have been done,
right?
And I'm not saying that you are going to get 100%. Oh, everything is hunky dory.
Right.
But if you don't forgive, that's just another burden that you're carrying.
Yeah. But you can really ask the Lord to help you with that and give you the grace, give you the mercy.
And it's all about grace and what's the word that we were using the other day?
Oh, you just said you felt like the Lord said the word clemency to you, which is an extension of
mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And leniency.
Mm-hmm.
So clemency, it's a legal term.
Mm-hmm.
We should practice it, but we should also receive it. And I think that forgiveness, this whole thing of 50, man, that's a Jubilee year of like giving the land back to the original owner, and it's like forgiving of all debts and forgiving of all shame and everything that has come against us. We need to walk with forgiveness in our heart so that we can see clearly to walk the path that God's laid before us. Because when you have bitterness and things in your life that are tough, and you're holding on to this bitterness, and you're holding on to unforgiveness, then you can't see clearly to walk this life, because it clouds your judgment. It clouds everything around you, and you will lose yourself. Unforgiveness is not a place to be.
No, that is a great note, I think, to end on, because you brought in the word clarity. That is oftentimes a prayer for myself and for both of us and for our family and for you as well, that going into this new year that we'll be able to see with clarity. No one wants to be blinded. No one wants to be deceived. No. And so I pray that this is a year that we can walk and see with clarity, not just what is happening around us, not just what is right and what is wrong, but also see with clarity vision, and be excited again for the path that God has for us.
Yeah, that thing that you gave up that you thought would never happen. Maybe it's time to pick it back up. The music or the art or that job you wanted or that position that you wanted at work or
that business
or the business you wanted to start or the freelance that you wanted to do. Every path will have its consequences and it'll have its blessings.
That's good. That's right. So I'm excited. It's a time of Jubilee and new beginning. I'm going to mention something real quick. I forgot to
go for
what I needed.
Do it. And she's back.
I also wanted to mention my latest book that is my first work of fiction, which is The Astonishing Pilgrimage of Mary J. Krause. It's a coming-of-age story. And speaking of new beginnings and second chances, that's what this book is really all about. It's about a family going through turmoil and a crisis, but finding out that there are second chances. And and it's a book geared towards young adults, but I've had adult friends who've said they also enjoyed it. So it's really a book more about family than it is even about teenagers.
And this is one of 3 books that you've written.
Yes.
So right here, Losing My Religion and Forever Lee, which is this one right here. I don't know if we can.
Yes. That's Lee when he's young on the front.
Oh, Lord.
His antics and childhood memories.
Yeah.
So both are stories of redemption.
My religion right here. Here we go.
Yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there. And so maybe you guys will be encouraged by one of those titles. And if you want to read them, they're on Amazon in both print and ebook. And that happens to be the proof copy.
Oh, this is the proof copy.
Yeah,
okay.
That's why it has that band around it.
Not for resale. So we can't sell you this one, but the other ones are,
right.
They'll print fresh and send right to you. So take it on.
All right.
I'm excited.
Well, Lee, I'm excited that we made it to our 50th episode.
50.
Yeah.
This is great.
So it's almost been a year, which is crazy. Because we release pretty much every week. So, guys, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we will see you on the next episode.
Y'all have a great one.
Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to our channel. Drop your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you prefer audio podcasts, please follow us on your favorite streaming platform.